we found that 44.6% of students experienced housing insecurity in the 12 months prior to taking our survey. 16.1% of students experienced homelessness in the previous 12 months, and 47% of students experienced food insecurity in the 30 days prior to the survey. While our rates of homelessness are the same as those reported by the Hope Center in their most recent national survey, our rates of housing insecurity are higher, 44% compared to 35% nationally. Our food insecurity rates are also higher, 47% compared to 33% nationally. This figure illustrates that 61.6% of students experience some form of basic needs insecurity, either housing insecurity, homelessness, or food insecurity, or some combination of them, whereas 38.4% of students were secure in their basic needs. Black, Indigenous, and people of color, BIPOC students, experienced high rates of basic needs insecurity. In particular, Native American students were almost twice as likely as white students to experience homelessness. And they also had the highest rates of food insecurity, 66.4% compared to 42.8% for white students. Now for employees, we found 22.7% experienced housing insecurity in the 12 months prior to completing the survey. 5.6% of employees experienced homelessness in the previous 12 months, and 16.5% of employees experienced food insecurity in the 30 days prior to completing the survey. Collectively, almost 30% of employees experienced some form of basic needs insecurity, while just over 70% were secure in their basic needs. Again, BIPOC employees were particularly vulnerable. Specifically, Black employees were more than twice as likely as white employees to experience housing insecurity, homelessness, and food insecurity. In addition to BIPOC students and employees, LGBTQ+ students and employees also reported high rates of housing insecurity, homelessness, and food insecurity. Among employees, rates of housing insecurity, homelessness, and food insecurity for transgender, non-binary, genderqueer, agender, or questioning employees were nearly 3 times the rates of other employees. Students and employees with disabilities or medical conditions were almost twice as likely as those without disabilities to experience homelessness, housing insecurity, and food insecurity. Among employees, staff had the highest rates of basic needs insecurity, followed by faculty, and then followed by administrators. Non-tenure track faculty, especially adjunct professors and instructors, were particularly vulnerable. Adjunct professors were twice as likely to report housing insecurity and 3 times as likely to report food insecurity compared to other faculty classifications.